traditionally the last day to file your tax return. But because it falls on a Saturday this year, we have until Monday. But wait a minute. Monday in Washington, D.C. is a holiday. It is Emancipation Day. Washington, D.C. will be shut down on Monday and will not reopen. There's a big yellow tape across the highway. Can't get in. And will reopen Tuesday, April 18th. So what does that mean? That means you have until midnight, Tuesday, the 18th of April, to file your tax return. Now, there are some states, I don't have a list, I should have compiled a list, but there are some states that really could care less about Emancipation Day. Therefore, in those states, it is April 17th. But it's none of them around here. Most of them are going to follow suit with the IRS. And if you file it by the 18th, you'll be good to go. So that's good news for everybody. It gives people 3 more days to procrastinate. Instead of running into my office at 10:30 tonight, they're going to run into my office at 10:30 at night, Tuesday night. So it doesn't change much. Good morning, everyone.
Gives you 3 days to catch up on sleep.
It gives me 3 more days to not sleep. That is Todd, my engineer. Good morning, Todd.
Good morning.
Those of you listening to me, Northland Cable Channel 5 subscribers, good morning. Those of you tuning in, www.wcab59am, live streaming us right here in the Blue Room. You can see us live. You see that I have my spring pink shirt on, and my hair, of course, looks fabulous. Today is our last day for this tax season. Today's the last day of my program for this tax season. I was going to do next Saturday, but we've just got a really tight schedule this week. I actually have an audit. On at the end of the week, and there was just a lot going on with Tuesday and just the whole schedule that we have. I said, let's do it on the 15th of April. How appropriate could that be? Let's end the program for this season today, but I'm going to just put this out there. I met with Jim yesterday, and we're working on something else, Todd.
I didn't get the memo.
You didn't get the memo, but that's okay. We're working on something else. What that something else is, I don't want to talk about it yet. Gilbert Talks Too Much, I'm thinking would be a great name for the program. Gilbert Talks Too Much. We are working on something else. I'm going to talk about everything but taxes today, I can tell. It's going in that direction already. I really want to thank everybody. That's the first thing. I want to thank my wife, since this is the last program, and I am going to talk about taxes, by the way. I've got some questions people have been asking me. We're going to talk about some last-minute strategies. I hate to call it a strategy, but last-minute thing you can do. And I'm going to cover filing extensions real quick, just to make sure people understand about filing extensions. But let me get the thank yous and everything out of the way. First of all, I want to thank my wife. I could not have done this without her. She, for those of you that now there are people that are her clients now. They used to be my clients. They now call and ask for Christy. Oh, yeah. And I come in the room, hi, is there anything I need? No, we got it. You can go on. But Christy's a Clemson graduate, civil engineer, 5-year civil engineer program out of Clemson. She's worked as an engineer for 20 plus years. And when it became obvious that I needed help, she was more than willing to jump in. And she's a lady that could go and do anything, anywhere for any company. She's got incredible skills. Her time management and her office management skills and her organizational skills are fantastic. Second to none, Todd, second to none. And when she decided that she was going to help me, and she said, I know nothing about accounting and taxes, I said, perfect. I don't want somebody that knows anything about taxes and accounting. I need somebody that will lay the people to heart and it be about the people. And that is her. It is about the people. It is about laying the people to heart. And I want to thank her. And I want to thank all of you in Rutherford County, all the listeners, Polk County, all the listeners of this program that have so supported us. Couldn't have done it without any of you. And it's just, this has really been a lot of fun. It's been another thing on our plate to get ready for the program, have our topics, and but it's been so easy. It's been so easy to just come here and just share our lives, our day, our week with you, because this is what we do. This is what we do all the time. We are, I'm an enrolled agent. I became an enrolled agent because I like taxation. I became an enrolled agent because I enjoy accounting. But more importantly, this started to help people. The business started to help people. I was going to get a job working for a big corporation, sit in a back room and look at monitors all day. That was my idea of a career. And we started helping people, and here we are 15 years later, and we're pushing 500 and something tax returns. And we're not done. This goes on all year for us. Taxation has now become a year-round event. Tax planning, financial planning, retirement planning, it's a lifetime that you do this. So it's no longer just a seasonal business. So I wanted to get those thank yous out of the way. And of course, I want to thank my engineers. Well, really, I've got 3 engineers every other week. I've got Todd, Karen, and Canyon, and Jay also. I want to thank all of you, and Jim for allowing me this opportunity. I want to thank all my sponsors, and I promise you we're going to get some fresh commercials next time, okay? They said we really got to change those commercials, but I like them, and I like them, and thank you guys for doing this. The scripture that I keep getting all week, what I keep thinking. Did I thank Donald Trump? Let me thank Donald Trump and Melania. She's fantastic. Let me thank him. The program started. I started the program early because I really wanted to show my support for him, and I wanted to get it out there about Hillary's horrible tax plan. Really, what we've been spared, among other things, just the economic, really, prosperity we've had in the last few months has really been incredible, unprecedented. If I heard a statistic from a representative from one of the financial brokerage houses that spoke at our breakfast, said if you had your money in the market 3 days after Trump, you had more gains than 8 years of Obama. Then that to me said it all. That said it all. We went from being flatline, and flatline means dead, flatline to just a spike, and it's not over. People say, "Oh, it's gonna end soon." No, it's not. I'm going to some predictions at the end of the program. I'm going to talk about that. But I really want to thank him. I want to thank him for doing this. Those of you that heard him speak, he said one time, I didn't need to do this, but I wanted to do this because I believe in this country, and I believe in the people, and I believe that something's got to change. And really, he didn't need to do it. I mean, the guy had $5 billion back at home. This for him was, he didn't need to do it, and he did it. And thank you. I know he's listening. Thank you, Donald. Do you think he's live streaming? He's live streaming. Let me look at there. Okay, thank you. And your hair looks fabulous too. Okay, I just want to tell you. The scripture I've had all week, Todd liked that. The scripture I've had all week, with everything going on with our president and everything going on with the lying media, and I mean, they couldn't tell the truth if they had. I mean, they just couldn't. They can't. They can't tell the truth. Jesus said it's against their nature. He was talking about something else, but it qualifies. But what I've been thinking about all week, and you hear every report that comes out and every this and every that, Solomon, Ecclesiastes, and really read it. Just read it. It's not very long. Ecclesiastes is actually very short. And it's just 12 short chapters and with short verses in it, but every word carries such weight. And I'm just gonna hit a couple of things, but what's it profit a man? And the thing is, it's all vanity. It's all chasing after a wind. And really, the end of the matter, there's nothing new under the sun. We've heard all this before. We've been here before. And we know what the outcome's going to be. I was watching, where was I? I was at the bank waiting for, I was doing a transaction there that it involved them doing some things, so I had to kind of sit there and wait. And they have a big screen there with the media, the news playing. And I thought, I remember this exact thing happening, and it doesn't matter what the thing was, this exact thing happening in 1985. And then the next story came. I said, I remember that exact same thing happening in 1992. And the next story came. I remember that exact same thing happening in whatever year. Nothing new under the sun. Chapter 1, verse 3. What profit does man have left for all his toil, at which he toils under the sun? 4. One generation goes, and another generation comes, but the earth remains forever. The sun also rises, the sun goes down, and hastens to the place where it rises. The wind goes to the south, and it circles from the north, and it goes around and it returns. The rivers run into the sea, but the sea is never full. And the place from where the rivers come, it never runs out. All things are weary with toil. All words are feeble. Man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. The thing that has been, is it what will be again? That which has been done is that which will be done again. And there is nothing new under the sun. And that's all I have. All week I've been thinking this. There is nothing new under the sun. What does all this have to do with taxes? Everything. I see people come in frustrated. It's the end of this tax season. They owe money. They don't owe money. It's like it just becomes this becomes like a bookmark, a placeholder in their life. But let it show you what you're made of. Are you going to trust in this world system and in the money, or are you going to trust in God? What is your heart with all of this? I mean, I see it. The people that sit across that desk from me, when we talk about the finances, we talk about what's going on, I see it all. I see the gods they serve. I see what's important in their life. I had a meeting with a lady, precious people, a precious person. Her husband passed away. He was precious too. Passed away a few years back. And she has a lot of money. They were successful business people. And he left her a lot of money. And she said to me, she said, I hate that because she doesn't know what to do with the money. And me, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money. I'll pray with you, and I'll tell you, if you do this, you'll owe the government that, or you won't owe the government, or we can do this, you can do that. But I'm not going to tell you what to do. You have to hear from God yourself what to do. Whether you have $10 or you have $10 million, I don't care. What's important is that you hear from God and that you hear the voice of God. The love of money is a root of all evil, but money's a tool and nothing more. And if it serves any purpose, it's to show the condition of your heart. So she's talking about this money, and she goes, I'm complaining. She goes, I feel terrible. She goes, I should be grateful. She goes, but I don't care about money anymore. She said, I'd give it all up to have my husband back. And she said that with such conviction, and she meant it. And folks, she has a lot of money. You could just tell it's nothing to her. Nothing at all. As a matter of fact, she almost wishes she didn't have it. Just one more thing to get in the way of life. So and I've heard this, I've had conversations like it with people, a lot of people lately. I thought, well, it's my clients, people I've been serving for the last 15 years are getting older. So we're going into this kind of life cycle. People are passing away, but no. I've got a lot of young people too, and I've got a lot of young people that are successful business people that also make a lot of money. And there's an emptiness there. So it's not the money. It's really the spiritual condition. So the scripture, this just keeps going over and over. We're going to take a break here in a minute and get back to this, but I want to read it one more time. Chapter 1, verse 9. The thing that has been, Ecclesiastes, chapter 1, verse 9. The thing that has been is what will be again, and that which has been done is that which will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. And then let me before we take the break, let me go to the end. Because he goes on for 12 chapters, and you wonder, is he getting it? I mean, he really complains about a lot of things. But at the end, he says, 12:13, all has been heard. The end of the matter is, Todd, listeners, the end of the matter is, fear God, revere and worship him, knowing that he is, and keep his commandments. For this is the whole of man, the full original purpose for the creation of man, the object of God's providence, the root of character, the whole and the duty of every man. For God shall bring every work into judgment, and with every God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it is good or evil. There's going to be a weighing. There's going to be a judgment. We know it. And it just feels like that judgment is coming so soon. Even people that I talk to that aren't religious are saying, something's happening. There's something going on. What is it? And I tell them, God's coming back. God is coming back. And it's not going to be this, a harp, a cloud, a lion, and you're just going to sit there in this bliss forever. God is coming back, and it's very clear to judge whether good or evil. Let's go ahead and take a break, and I'm going to come back and talk about some taxes, answer some questions. This is Gilbert Talks Taxes right here, WCAB 590 AM.
Suffering from numbness in your feet, leg cramping, pain when you walk, difficulty sleeping from leg and foot discomfort? Well, you'd need to see Dr. Jerry Gross at Foot and Ankle Center of the Carolinas. Your feet don't have to hurt. Call 245-6405 today.
What can I say about Cafe at the Mall, Cafe to Go, and 10 North Trade Cafe Bakery that can do them justice? The cakes, fresh baked breads, sandwiches, and salads, everything is delicious and perfect. Whether it's sit-down dining, lunch on the run, or catering for any occasion, Cafe at the Mall, Cafe to Go, or 10 North Trade Cafe Bakery is the place to go. Stop in at Cafe at the Mall, Cafe to Go, and 10 North Trade Cafe Bakery and mention Gilbert Talks Taxes and get a free cranberry oatmeal cookie, the official cookie of Gilbert Talks Taxes.
I get asked all the time, Gilbert, with 2017 already here, will your hair continue to look as fabulous as it looked in 2016? The answer is yes. How can I say that so confidently? Because I go to Robin at RSL Salon. Call Robin for an appointment, 289-9110, or call Emily at 447-3524. Whether it's hairstyling, manicures, or pedicures, it's always RSL Salon, because everyone deserves to look fabulous. We are back. This is Gilbert Talks Taxes, WCAB 590 AM, because taxation with representation has not been such a good idea either. I went right into it. I didn't get all the things out of the way. My name is Gilbert Carmona. I am an enrolled agent. An enrolled agent is a person enrolled, licensed by the IRS to represent taxpayers in audits, appeals. I prepare tax returns. I work with financial strategies. We are a full-service accounting business. Have two offices, one right here on forgot my address, 113 Whitesides Road, right up the street from WCAB, right at the intersection there, next to Southern Baptist Church. I have another office in downtown Tryon at 226 South Trade Street in the beautiful Art Deco building. Now, this office here is fully manned all week long. The one in Tryon is by appointment only. We're there 3-4 days a week, but it really is by appointment. If you need to get me, you can call me at 828-289-9300, 289-9300. You can send me an email at gilbert@gilbertcarmona.com. It doesn't get easier than that, Todd. It's a beautiful day, by the way, 63 degrees out there. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. As an enrolled agent, I'm supposed to know everything there is to know about taxes, but I'll tell you what, people ask me questions sometimes, and I have to go look it up, and I'm surprised at what I learned. Now, there is a rumor going around, Todd, if you can believe this, gossip mongering is what I call it. Is that a word? Gossip mongering?
It is now.
It is now. Thank you, Todd. The power of media, huh? So, there's a rumor going around, and I don't know who started this rumor, probably the IRS. There's a rumor going around that you probably won't be audited. You probably won't be audited. Well, you probably won't fall off a ladder either, but it happens. You probably won't be audited. In recent years, the IRS, I get asked this question a lot because this has been coming up. We know that President Trump has frozen federal spending right now, except for key military things, and dropping 2,100-pound bombs, which I'm all for, by the way. Other than that, he's frozen military spending. Oh, yeah, he got my full support on that thing. Somebody goes, there were $16 million a piece. I said, so what? We got a warehouse full of them. Haven't used them in 11 years or something.
Reagan paid for them.
Reagan paid for them. They've been there waiting for him to come along, and let's just drop them things, okay? And while you're at it, shoot a few cruise missiles. So they're frozen. There is a hiring freeze at the IRS, and this is real. I talk to the IRS every day. It's what I do in audit. I do audits, offer in compromises. I do issue resolution is what we call it. So I talk to the IRS every day, and as a matter of fact, I was just talking to an auditor. I'm going into an audit end of this week, and I was speaking with that auditor. Super nice guy, very professional, really knows his stuff. And he was saying that he is the only auditor in this office that he's working out of that performs the kind of audit he does. There's supposed to be others, but as people have retired and quit, they have not rehired. So that is true. That is going on. So the rumor is that you won't be audited in recent years. The story, I found this in researching it. In recent years, the IRS budget has been repeatedly slashed. As a result, it's been forced to reduce its personnel, including auditors. The inevitable result is a steep decline in audit rates. Fewer than 1% of all taxpayers are audited these days. And as the budget cuts continue, the rate will likely drop further. Okay, that was the story. CNN Money actually had that, and the story goes on. However, this doesn't give you carte blanche to throw whatever numbers you like into your tax return, setting aside the ethical issues of cheating on your taxes. There's no guarantee that the IRS budgets or priorities won't change in the near future. So while it's natural to be happy right now about not being audited, who knows what can happen in the future? And that is exactly what I have seen. See, we've seen these dips before. Nothing new under the sun, Todd. We've seen these dips before, and what happens is they'll get their budget back, they'll get their numbers back up, and then they're going to go back and chase all these old red flags. Don't forget, tax returns go off, what they say, the term they use is off statute after 3 years. That doesn't mean they can't go back. I've got an audit right now where they found a discrepancy. This is somebody that came to me with this problem. Both of them came to me with their problem. These were not clients of mine before. They audited them. found a discrepancy and went the year before, the discrepancy was there, went the year before, the discrepancy was there, went the year before, and now they're in 1999 looking at tax returns. So don't throw caution to the wind. Please don't do anything. Don't think they're not going to audit me. That should never even be in your thinking. 1%, 5%, 12%, it doesn't matter to me. We try to do what's right. We also try to take a position, though. We don't want to overpay taxes. What's legal? How do we legally reduce your tax burden? That's what you're thinking when you're doing this. A lot of people, I've had people ask me about the IRS owing them interest. Or the IRS, let's say there is an audit, or you go back and amend something from a few years ago. People call me and say, well, you told me the IRS was going to send me $1,500, but I got a check for $1,780. What happened there? Well, the IRS will pay you interest. I get this question a lot, especially when we amend prior years. They will pay you interest. They're quick to charge you interest, but they're also pretty quick to pay you interest. So that surprises people to know that. But now, if the IRS doesn't issue your refund within 45 days of the due date, that the interest starts accruing. So a lot of people that haven't gotten refunds now that filed their tax returns, their files are being reviewed, they're being audited, whatever's happening, they've been pulled, and then they'll get their money. That clock on the interest actually starts today, well, Tuesday technically, and will go 45 days. After that, you will get interest on your refund. I've had some questions about charitable distributions the official IRS language for this is a qualified charitable distribution in lieu of a required minimum distribution. Those of you that have 401ks and IRAs understand what I just said. To the rest of you, I spoke a foreign language just now. Todd's looking it up. Oh, you're going to get like 30 million hits on that. That is probably the most trending topic right now. So what happens is this, and I get this question because this has been out in the media, and a lot of charities will tell you to do this. And yes, it does work. And yes, it is a good thing to do. And yes, it can. I'm not going to say it will, but it can reduce your tax liability. Those of you with 401s and IRAs, you have a required minimum distribution that you have to do at 70.5. You have to. It's the way the law is written. When you do that required minimum distribution, you have to pay tax on it. Remember, the whole thinking behind 401k and IRA, individual IRA, traditional IRA, the thinking is you save this money when you're young, you're in the highest tax bracket you're going to be. When you're older and in retirement, you start pulling that money out, you pay the tax in retirement, which in theory is at a lower tax rate. Two things have happened, though, that they didn't think about when they designed these plans way back when. People are living longer, people are working longer. I have people in their 70s working full-time jobs, making good money, and they're doing it not because they have to, they want to, and they can. I have a lady, Todd, that is 82 and works full-time. I said to her, well, she didn't look a day over 70. Let's start with that. But she's 82, she works every day, and absolutely loves it, wouldn't have it any other way, and she's not doing it because she has to, she's doing it because she wants to, and I'll tell you, it's probably one of the reasons that she looks so young. She's getting out there, and it's an office job. I mean, she's sitting at a desk. It's good work for her. She loves it, and she really does love it. It shows when she talks about it. She has a passion for it. So what is happening now is you have people that are 70 and a half that don't need the money. And they're not in a lower tax bracket. They're actually in a pretty high tax bracket for their age. The whole retirement at 65 thing it's just not a reality for a lot of people. There are people that have health issues, but barring that, and people are living longer, they're healthier longer, they're working longer. That's the reality now. So 70 and a half, you've got this required minimum distribution you've got to take from your 401 or your IRA, but you don't want to take it. You don't have a choice. It's a required, that's the R of RMD, required minimum distribution. Well, you can actually have that required minimum distribution go to a charity. And there's some rules there, but the rules are pretty normal. It's got to be a recognized charity, 501c3 or 501, any of the normal charities that you can give money to and get a deduction on your Schedule A on your tax return. Any charity that qualifies there qualifies for this. You can do this. You don't pay the tax on the money because you never got the money. You get the tax write-off. And I'm being general here, okay? Everybody's situation is a little different. I would talk to your tax preparer, your financial advisor, talk to me if this is something you're considering doing, just to make sure you've got all the ducks in a row. There's not a lot, but just make sure you do it right, because you don't want to have it backfire on you. But you can have that RMD go right to the charity. It's got to go right to the charity. The money cannot come to you. That's the big thing with this. If it comes to you and then you write a check for, even if you write a check for the complete amount, even if you write a check for more, you've totally defeated the whole purpose of this. The money has to go from the fiduciary holding the money in your IRA, your 401, from them to the charity. It's not a big deal. It's easy to do. A lot of people do this. But yes, that can happen, and yes, that can reduce your tax rate. If it's something you're considering doing, please give me a call. I've had several questions about this. Let's go ahead and take a break. Boy, time's just going, Todd. Where's it going? It's going. Let's take a break. This is Gilbert Talks Taxes, WCAB 590 AM. I want to tell you about a little-known Rutherford County gem, Integrity Marble and Granite, located at 287 Shiloh Road in Forest City. They are the premier stone fabrication company in the western North Carolina region. They specialize in granite, marble, and natural stone, offering complete design and installation. Their design center and Kohler showroom features vanities, decorative accessories, bathroom, and kitchen fixtures. You do not have to go to Charlotte or Asheville for this kind of quality. We have it right here in Forest City. Stop in their showroom and browse their beautiful displays, or you can call 828-247-8801 for a free quote. You can also go to their website, www.integritymarblegranite.com, and look at the pictures and see samples of their available materials. Now, mention you heard it on Gilbert Talks Taxes, and they will give you $100 off any sink purchase. That's Integrity Marble and Granite.
I want to welcome Tim Schlabach and Foothills Photo Works, a professional hybrid commercial photography studio. If you're concerned about your social media image, listen up. Whether you're an executive, real estate broker, lawyer, or business owner, your image matters now more than ever. And you know first impressions count. Whether you need professional portraits, corporate headshots, images of your products or facility, aerial photography, and videos of buildings, boats, or large acreage, affordable professional help is here for you. Foothills Photo Works can create media that will help your prospects get to know you better and help you look your best. Foothills Photo Works is located at 362 Charlotte Road in Rutherford, North Carolina, but you need to call for an appointment. That number is 828-668-2304. Mention this ad and receive 15% off your first session. That's 828-668-2304. Foothills Photo Works, your media professionals.
We are back. This is Gilbert Talks Taxes. Because, Todd, taxation with representation has not been such a good idea either. I just love saying that. I really do. It's the truth.
Yeah.
It is the truth. It is the truth. The quote is that Benjamin Franklin, after a meeting of Congress, a person The tradition is that there was a woman, I don't know if it was a person, a child, whatever, came up to him and said, "What have we wrought?" And he said, "A republic if we can keep it." I would tell you a mess should have been the answer. What have we wrought? A mess. It's become a mess, hasn't it? I mean, guys, what happened? What's happened? I mean, you go back to it, the intentions, everything they created, everything they hated, we have become. Our Congress has become. Our Senate has become. Our presidency has become. Not now. It's different now. Boy, is it ever different now. Let me, speaking of, if you need to get me, you can call me, 828-289-9300. That is my regular telephone number. Please feel free to call me anytime. Any questions you may have. If you have tax issues, problems, you owe the IRS money, you owe the state of North Carolina money. Let me tell you something. They are bears. They will clean out your bank account faster. It's incredible than anything I've seen. You'll get a letter. You get letter number 1. You owe us money. Letter number 2, we didn't hear from you about that money you owe us. And these letters will come like 15, 20 days apart. You've barely read the first letter and decided what you're going to do. Letter number 2, we haven't heard from you, so we're garnishing your wages and blah, blah, blah. And by the time you get that letter, they've cleaned out your bank account. And any other bank account that's got your Social Security number on it, even if other people are on it. They do not fool around. But it gets people's attention that they will pay that bill. So on the one hand, you understand it, but on the other hand, they're very heavy-handed, and they don't, and the bottom line is they're wrong. I've just seen where they're wrong. And the damage is done. So what do you do when the damage is done? To talk a little bit more about the required minimum distributions in these 401 and IRA plans. Now, there are other plans. You may be a school teacher or a government worker and you have a 403B plan. These are just numbers to the plans that have, they've got their own little tweak. But it's the basic idea is you put money away tax deferred, not tax free. People say tax free. No. Nothing is tax free, actually. The only thing that's tax free, and that's only part of it, are qualified, are bonds. Typically they're municipal bonds, but those are bonds, and they're only tax free under certain rules. And really, it's just that's not even. They're not always such a good investment. Just because they're tax free doesn't mean they're good. But any plan where you put money away tax deferred, you're going to pay the tax later. You've kicked the can up the street, and you'll pay the tax later. Any plan like that that has a required minimum distribution, you can use that charitable giving strategy. If that's something you're interested in. I'm not telling you to do that. People ask me about this. I've got people that have to take money out and they don't want it. Why can't I just leave the money in there? I don't need it. I've got money in retirement. I'm worried about running out of money later. I don't want to pay taxes now. So that's a strategy you can do. Now, there is, and I've gotten some questions about this. This is a complicated subject. So I'm going to basically give it to you in one sentence and tell you to consult a professional. Okay? If you have a 401k and an IRA, you can have both, and you need money before 59 and a half, because remember, after 59 and a half, you can take it out penalty free. You still pay the tax, but there's no 10% penalty. Now, before 59 and a half, you can take money out, but you have to pay a 10% penalty. Now, there's a few things that waive that penalty. Purchase of a home. It used to be first-time homeowner, but they've kind of relaxed that rule some. There's a few things there. There's been a certain period of time between home purchases, it can still qualify as a first-time home purchase. That's limited, though, to $10,000. You can pull $10,000 out of your IRA without paying the penalty. You still pay the tax I had a person tell me, no, there's no tax on it. $10,000. No, you still pay the tax. It's the penalty that gets waived. If you have a disease, an illness, and you need money, you can pull some out for medical reasons without paying the 10% penalty. You still pay the tax. And that has to be legitimate hospital bills, folks. A chest cold does not qualify. Okay? Yes, Todd, that was a whole conversation I had with a person. Sneezing was a great inconvenience to them. So give me $5,000 for my IRA. No. And college education, now that one's pretty limited, but there's a formula for that. College education. So you can pull money out. College education for you or your dependent. And dependent is broadly defined, by the way. Broadly defined. Okay, so those are the scenarios. But you can take money out of your tax-deferred IRA or 401k before age 59 using, it's a formula called the equal periodic payment rule. And it's a formula that you use a calculation method, and if you qualify, you can take that money out early without the penalty. You don't have to pay the penalties. They're based on how much money you have in your retirement account, and it uses life expectancy tables provided by the IRS. The argument is, I'm not going to live that long, I shouldn't have to pay a penalty. Fair enough. The IRS is willing to look at that, and they've got some formulas for it. So that is a calculation method. People get on the internet and read this stuff, and they think it applies to them. It doesn't. You really need to research that a little, because that 10% penalty can be huge. If you pull out $5,000, that's $500. I've had people pull out $20,000. It's $2,000. Basically, between the penalty, the state, and the federal taxes, if you pull your money out early, you're going to lose 27% of it to taxes. So, and I just tell people, round it up, make it an even 30. You pull out $10,000, $3,000 of it is going to go to the government, which is huge. Just put that in your budgeting. We're going to, let me go ahead and talk about this. This is the time of the year. The time of the year that people come to my office and they say, Gilbert, I owe money. Todd, go ahead, Todd, say to me, Gilbert, I owe money. What can I do to reduce that tax bill? What can I do? And I look them straight in the eye and I say, pretty much nothing. It's just too late. There is one thing you can still do. One thing, and you have till, well, probably about 5 o'clock Tuesday to do it, because they're probably all closing 5, 6 o'clock. But you can put money in your IRA. Speaking of your IRA, you still can contribute. If you're over 55, you can contribute $6,500, the catch-up rule. If you're under 50, you can contribute $5,500. So above 50, did I say 55? Above, sorry about that. I'm getting all my fives confused here. Above 50, you can contribute $6,500. Below 50, you can contribute $5,500. $5,500 to your IRA. That will reduce your taxable income, which will reduce your tax. You can still do that. You can still open up your IRA if you don't have, and fund it. Thanks to the internet and thanks to these things you can do, you can actually scan a check and get it to them. You can overnight the check on Monday. They get it Tuesday. You can still fund your account. But really, at this point, that's about all you can do. There's not much retroactive tax planning you can do. The average person can do. So you've got two options now. If you owe, you either pay it Or if you don't have the money, you can submit a Form 9465 with your tax return. My software will automatically submit that. Now, the IRS will let you enter into a payment plan to pay your money back. They'll go 6 years. They'll calculate it, 6 years, 72 payments. They'll calculate your minimum payment due. There is interest, there is penalty, there is a fee for setting it up. It is expensive. If you can pay it, please pay it. If you can. Some people can't. But you can pay it. How do you pay it? You can pay it online if you go to irs.gov, G-O-V, irs.gov. Do not go to any other website to pay it, because it could be a fraudulent website stealing your identity, stealing your data. The irs.gov website has a payment method there, and it is free to do this. You can also make your estimated tax payment. Those are due Tuesday also. Estimated tax payments. Those are the quarterly payments that you have to pay. You can also make those online. You can actually make a lot of payments online at irs.gov. North Carolina, at the NCDOR website, North Carolina Department of Revenue, you can pay your taxes there online. Let me tell you the problem I see with a lot of people. They don't save the receipt. They don't print it. They don't even save it as a PDF. They don't save the receipt. They think somehow there's this record of it somewhere in internet land. There isn't. There is not. And I have seen people pay online and make a mistake, apply the payment to the wrong year, make the wrong kind of payment. I don't know how you can confuse an excise tax payment with an extension payment, but you can. People do. They do it all the time. So it goes to the wrong thing. You get a letter, and then they'll go and fix it on the back end, but it's a lot of confusion. I just send that little voucher in with a check, and boom, there it is, and I've got proof of it with that canceled check, and I know they got it when the check clears the bank. Well, you know they got it digitally also, but don't assume. Save that receipt. Okay? So if you can't pay it, you can request a payment plan. North Carolina is a little different. You need to file your tax return. They will notify you of your assessed balance due. Then you call them and set up a payment plan. North Carolina will send you a letter 20 days or within 20 days of you setting up a payment plan. You must sign that letter, and you must get that letter back to them. I have seen so many people lose their payment plan, get garnished, get their bank account cleaned out, because they didn't send that letter back. And they all say to me the same thing: I never got it. Most of you did get it. And you just either didn't pay attention to it, you didn't know what it was, it wasn't a notice saying you owed anything, it's just a piece of paper that says sign this and send it back. And they put it off somewhere, and the 20 days comes and goes, and you've now lost your payment plan. You have to reapply. It's not something they have to do, folks. There is no law that says they have to enter into a payment plan with you. You owe that tax Tuesday at midnight. So understand that, because one person said to me, well, my mother said that she was doing this and they have to do it. Oh, no, they don't. They do not have to do it. As a matter of fact, if you repeatedly owe year after year, and you just think they're just going to tag on the new debt to the old debt, it'll come to a point. I've had people come to me that it came to a point after only a few years where they just said, no, you are not serious about paying your taxes. You're just going to keep letting this roll over, and you don't care, and we're not doing it anymore. That's literally what the agent said to the person. I was on the phone. They said, you don't care, we're not going to do it. Sorry, pay your bill. And they hung up. Oh, yeah, Todd, that's a bad place to be when the IRS is hanging up on you. Let's take our last break and come back. I'm going to make a few predictions of what I think is going to happen next year. This is Gilbert Talks Taxes, WCAB 590 AM.
A good sign is good business. Make your business stand out with a professional sign from DS Signs and Graphics. Successful companies all over the Carolinas are trusting Alex at DS Signs and Graphics. He has the artistic ability to present your company's image in the best light. Not only display signs, but DS Signs and Graphics can customize banners of all sizes. And if you need magnetic signs or window and vehicle lettering, call on DS Signs and Graphics today. They offer a full line of signs and graphics for any event. 3D, sandblasted, storefront, and monument signs are part of the complete selection of quality signage. Professional signs and banners to fit any budget. Let your business stand out. Call DS Signs and Graphics today. That phone number is 286-4900. Or stop by the sign shop located on Main Street in downtown Spindale. And check the website for more suggestions at dssignsandgraphics.com.
Hi there, this is Kimberly, and I'm here to tell you about Peterson's Auto Service and Detail Shop. As a woman, I'm often apprehensive about taking my car to a dirty service garage. But you can be assured that Peterson's, located at 478 Butler Road, Forest City, has an incredibly clean and safe environment where you get high-quality service at a great price. Peterson's was voted Rutherford County's best auto service 3 years in a row. So take your car to Peterson's for brakes, oil change, North Carolina inspection, tire rotation, headlight lens restoration, scratch removal, and meticulous auto detailing. That's Peterson's at 478 Butler Road, Forest City. You can call him for an appointment at 245-8889. Mention you heard Kimberly on WCAB 590 AM, and Peterson will give you $20 off a full detail or $5 off your next North Carolina inspection. Peterson's Auto Service and Detail Shop, a place I feel comfortable going to.
We are back. Gilbert Talks Taxes right here, WCAB 590 AM. Because taxation with representation has not been such a good idea either. Good morning, everyone. Well, this is the last 7 minutes of the program, Todd. And will not be coming back next Saturday. We're going to go ahead and wrap up for the season today. But we are working on something else. Let me just say that, Todd. Something else. I'm thinking Gilbert talks too much. That's really what I'm thinking. It works for me. I'm thinking about doing something with financial planning. See, you just can't get on the radio and talk about financial planning because there are so many rules, there are so many laws about what you can say and what you can't say. So I've got to get a lot of stuff done on the back end we call it my back office. We just got to get a lot of clarification on what I can do and what I can't do. So we're going to work on that. We are going to work on that. I was going to talk about my predictions. Predictions for this, what's going to happen with the IRS. Let me start with the IRS. Other predictions, but the IRS, their biggest problem is not going to be collecting more taxes. We just saw that they've collected record revenue with a reduced staff, if you can believe that. They've collected record revenue, and the government's still spending money faster than they can get it. But that's okay. It's not going to be collecting money. Their biggest problem is going to be ID theft. I've said it every year now, and every year I've been right. The ID theft problem is getting bigger. It's getting bigger than they even imagined. There was just a hack of FAFSA, which is the school where you go, your students go to enter their student loan information to get their student loans, to get their Pell Grants. FAFSA, it's an acronym, FAFSA. It's a website that you go to with the federal aid program, and it involves all your tax data, dates of births. FAFSA actually has a back door into the IRS, and it can pull your tax data. So FAFSA is major. They got hacked. The IRS is going to have a major challenge with this data. This year, we saw the release of tax returns that had child tax credit or earned income tax credit delayed until February 15th. Okay? So my prediction is this, that you're going to see that again next year, and it may even be later than February 15th. So those of you that count on that earned income tax credit refund, that are expecting that refund every year, don't count on it coming any certain time. It used to be, you filed your tax return last week of January, you knew in about 2 weeks you'd be getting this money. This year, most people didn't get that money till the end of February, so we're looking at a whole month. Hawaii and some other states have held refunds for 16 weeks. Think about it. People in Hawaii that filed their state taxes, which Hawaii has a high tax rate, some of these refunds are pretty big. I have actually prepared a Hawaii tax return for a client. 16 weeks, they still haven't gotten their refunds. They're just going to start getting their refunds in the next few weeks. Why? They want to review every tax return for ID theft, ID fraud. Other states, Oklahoma, to name one, Pennsylvania, well, these are states I've run into, okay, not Oklahoma, Alabama, are sending letters confirming the address and that, in fact, you filed this tax return and are requesting this refund. That's all the letter says. Did you in fact do this? And you check yes, and send it back, or call a number, or do this ID verification thing online. Whatever. You're going to see more and more and more of this. So I'm telling you, don't count on your refund being this automatic thing you're going to get in 3 weeks. They are pushing back to eliminate that. That's my prediction on this. My prediction about our president, he's going to keep doing a fantastic job. The guy rolled up his sleeves. He hasn't unrolled them yet. He's going to keep doing a fantastic job. And Melania, she's doing a fantastic job too, by the way, Todd. Fantastic.
What do you got to me?
And so's Ivanka, doing a fantastic job. Okay? So my prediction is he's going to keep doing it. Is he going to do everything he said right away? No. These things are going to take some time. We're going to get a rewrite of the tax code. It's going to happen. When? I don't know. But it's going to happen. My prediction for the lying media, they're going to continue to lie. Okay? They can't change. They can't change. What's it say in the Bible? Can the leopard change its spots? Can the Ethiopian change his skin color? Can the lying media stop lying? No. They're going to double down on stupid. Okay? And they are Donald Trump. God used Donald Trump to lift up their skirts and expose the hypocrisy, the lying, and just their liberal agenda. And it's going to continue to happen. It's not, they don't get it. They don't get it. They think all of America is Hollywood. And they don't get it. And they're not going to get it. And it's going to get worse with them. So that's really my big predictions that I've got to make. I was right last year. I nailed it. And one thing that I'm very, very, very concerned about is the IRS is talking about third party subcontracting out some of their functions. If this happens, this would be horrible, because the whole integrity of the security of the system would be compromised. And that's just a prediction I'm making, and I'm just going out on a limb. So if you need to get me, please send me an email, gilbert@gilbertcarmona.com. Feel free to call me, 828-289-9300. You got till midnight on Tuesday to file those tax returns, Todd. Again, I want to thank everybody so much for listening. This has really meant so much to us. Let's sign off with that, Todd. This has been Gilbert Talks Taxes, WCAB 590 AM.
Parade. It comes as tensions between the U.S. and North Korea have escalated. ABC News contributor Colonel Steve Ganyard has more.
We saw today a submarine-launched ballistic missile. They had conducted a test of this missile a few months back, but this is quite concerning because a submarine can go hide off